Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After finding out about Nina and Drew, Willow loses it. Is PC in danger? According to General Hospital spoilers, injured Willow Tate may be ready to change her mind about her sexy fiancé, Drew Kane. We must acknowledge that Willow will eventually uncover the extent of Drew's wickedness, therefore he had best be awake when that happens. Willow means business. Willow, who worships the ground this man walks on, has replaced her prior cult leader with Drew. He has manipulated her repeatedly, so he is not deserving of her loyalty. Willow suffered from a breakdown after losing custody of her children due to Drew's actions. But when Willow considers the unimaginable, things are going to get much worse. Willow is off the deep end. Willow is the insane individual who has been gaslighting infant Daisy Gilmore's mother, Sasha Gilmore, and stalking the child. Drew is in serious trouble if Willow is able to attack Sasha and her ex-husband, Michael Corinthos, by pursuing their defenseless child. Willow is capable of large-scale mischief, as seen by her cult past and her heinous actions today. This implies that supporters may finally see the retribution they have been waiting for in Drew. Is Drew going to get even? When Willow learns that Drew and her mother, Nina Reeves, slept with the mother behind her back, can you picture her reaction? That is a new low, to be honest, and Dina ought to pay for their actions in putting their trust in Willow. In addition to lying and playing with wily Corinthos' psyche, Drew also bought off the German clinic worker to inform Willow that Michael would not see her. When Drew's actual character is revealed, Willow will have a long way to fall from her treatment of him like a human life vest. Thus, rather than acting like Saint Weeping Willow, Willow might behave more like her evil sister Nellie Benson. Tell us, GH fans, do you think Willow would attempt to kill her deceitful lover out of rage? According to explosive General Hospital spoilers, Willow's conduct is expected to worsen over the next few days. We'll keep you updated on all the soap opera developments as they happen. Threat issued, warning issued, pay the piper. Updates and teasers for General Hospital hint at a threat, a warning, and the need for someone to pay the piper. Jen Sidwell is forced to pay the piper, Lucas Jones threatens, and Drew Kane gives a warning. Carly Spencer receives a warning from Drew, and it's clear that he's referring to Michael Corinthos. Drew warns Carly that she will suffer more than she can ever fathom if he doesn't make any concessions. Drew must be discussing a solution in which he and Willow Tate share custody of Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. However, Carly is unlikely to step in and help Michael because she no longer has any faith in either Willow or Drew. It's also clear that Michael has even less faith in them because he worries that they'll run off with the kids. Willow's bad news: Michael and Sasha Corbin recently got Daisy Gilmore checked up, and Willow is still in the hospital. When they run into Willow, she reportedly tries to guilt-trip Michael by asking him what he did while crying. She may believe they are back together, with Sasha acting as a substitute mother because she saw them leaving the hospital and appears to have caught up to them. Given that Willow was attempting to make Drew Michael's stand-in for Wiley and Amelia, that is a case of role reversal if there ever was one. Willow will receive some bad news. She has already broken the judge's court order. Is there an enforceable restraining order in the works? Will Michael request that it be enforced? Tracy's proposal at the Quartermaine home. Tracy Quartermaine has a pitch for someone. What might it be about? Since she is quite direct and doesn't hold back, it doesn't appear that she dislikes this person based on her smile. She might have a suggestion for Brooklyn Quartermaine Chase, her grandchild. Brooklyn is going through a very difficult moment and could appreciate some helpful suggestions. Tracy warned Harrison Chase last week, but he ignored her. Maybe she's attempting to patch things up between Brooklyn and Lulu Spencer. Threat issued in another scene: Lucas finds Jason Morgan and threatens him, but it's actually more of a promise. He informs Jason that his blood would be on his hands and completely blames Sonny Corinthos and Jason for Marco Rios' disappearance. Although it doesn't appear to have begun, it appears that the two may be in the chapel corridor where Natalia Ramirez's burial was scheduled to take place. Lucy Coe was momentarily with Sidwell, but it appears they were waiting for Marco, the priest, and possibly some other people to arrive. Give the piper money! Sonny is speaking to Sidwell inside the chapel, telling him that he must pay the piper and take care of his own issues. He must get his son out of this situation, Sonny urges him, implying that Marco's departure is necessary. Naturally, neither he nor Jason will acknowledge that Marco is imprisoned in what appears to be a storage room. A voice is heard as the two square off, Sunny winning the battle against Sidwell. "Get me out of here," is what Marco is yelling. "I drove our costume designer at General Hospital crazy," Laura Wright acknowledges. "Bringing the soap operas to our televisions every day requires a large team of performers. Everyone, including the actors, directors, producers, and, of course, the people in charge of the wardrobe, hair, and cosmetics departments." Laura Wright, a General Hospital actor, recently shared 2 pictures of herself wearing a lovely shirt and her gorgeous curls, revealing that she hasn't always been open to one item of clothing. This made someone on set a little crazy. "I don't know why, but I've never been into curls and collars. I know I annoyed Sean, but that has changed recently." While her former co-star Vanessa Marcil said, "Same babe," Alicia Coppola, who previously starred on The Young and the Restless, added, "Best hair in the biz. I'm obsessed with this gorgeous button-down, it's so perfect for the beach." If you're a fan of Wright's curls, she recently revealed her secret weapon. "My curls are the most frequently asked about issue. Some days they're fun and flawless, and other days they're a frizzy mess. However, I adore them. For those who are curious, I use Garnier USA Curl Cream. Shining bright and feeling so much love today," Wright wrote in another photo, curls and all, as she thanked everyone for their support of her Daytime Emmy nomination in the Outstanding Lead Actress category. "It's been such a fantastic adventure, and I appreciate all of your congratulations. Your love and support mean the world to me." Her longtime boyfriend Wes Ramsey said, "Well earned, my darling, so happy for you. I'm honored to stand next to the incredible women in this category and so grateful to be a part of the daytime world." Here is the full list of 2025 Daytime Emmy nominees in case you haven't seen it. Laura and her curls will be there on October for the biggest night in the genre. Get your son out of this situation. Spoilers for mother figure hint that Sasha looks for Nina. Does this imply that Sasha is preparing to bid farewell for the last time to the mother figure she has most admired in Port Charles? She's getting ready to leave town because she thinks it's the only way to protect Daisy. She doesn't realize that Willow, Nina's own daughter, is the one posing the threat. When Drew arrives at Carly's house, he issues a severe warning to his ex-girlfriend, this time regarding her kid Michael. He informs Carly that his refusal to compromise is going to cause him more misery than you could ever imagine. There's no doubt that Carly won't take this threat lightly. Maybe Drew should keep an eye on his back. Willow receives unfavorable news in the hospital. Willow approaches Michael after spotting him with Sasha and their baby, Daisy, but things quickly get out of hand. "What have you done, Michael?" she queries her divorced husband. Given that Willow broke into the Quartermain estate and has been relocating Daisy in an apparent attempt to emotionally destabilize Sasha and Michael, it seems unlikely that anything Michael has done can equal to Willow's recent reckless actions. Though sometimes she must ask instead of demand, scheme queen Tracy Quartermain is no stranger to getting what she wants. She says, "I have a proposition for you," to an unknown someone in the mansion. Will this individual comply with her plan, or will Tracy have to act independently? Lucas is in a panic. He went to the Metro Court and asked his sister Carly to let him into Marco's room, but he couldn't find him. Jason is discovered by Lucas at the church. Lucas informs the best friend of his sister that his blood will be on your hands. He believes his boyfriend is in grave danger, particularly from a vengeful Sunny. Lucas is correct, as Jason has actually taken Marco at Sunny's request. The mobster now has the advantage against Sidwell as a result. Sunny shouts at his opponent, "Get your son out of this. You got him into it." Marco's cry reverberates in the background as the two men look at one another with barely controlled rage. "Get me out of here." This is the reason why General Hospital's beloved summer return to the screen was cancelled. As our sister site Deadline originally revealed in November 2024, Nicholas Alexander Chavez had scored a role in the sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was thrilling for those who were missing him because there is no indication that Spencer will return from the grave on General Hospital. Since then, though, there has been more significant news. Chavez's role in the movie has been cut. People found out that Lola Tung and the former ABC soap opera favorite will not be appearing in the July 18th release. Although the actors were supposed to open the film, director Jennifer K. Tin Robinson informed the magazine that the scene didn't work out. "This scene is amazing. But it doesn't fit in the movie, Robinson remarked, adding that he loved working with Chavez and Tung and that it had nothing to do with them. They performed a fantastic job. However, it simply didn't fit into the overall plot of the movie. The 1997 movie, which stars Ryan Phillip, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Freddie Prinze Jr., focused on four friends who were hounded by a maniac with a hook after a terrible accident. The 2006 direct-to-video film, which omitted all of the original actors, was released a year after the release of the sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Speaking of original cast members, Hewitt is presently in negotiations for a comeback, while Prinze Jr. will return for the most recent episode. Jonah Horking, Tyreek Withers, Sarah Pidgeon, Madeline Klein, and Chase Sway Wonders have also been cast. Await its releasing date of July 18, 2025. Geo was being buried beneath the fissures, not merely slipping through them. Every day, people in a community like Port Charles dismantled and rebuilt themselves, but for some reason, Geo was not given the room to do the same. Those who had noticed were starting to express their irritation because his story hadn't developed or progressed. He wasn't at blame, and the actor who brought him to life with such genuine passion wasn't at fault either. Perhaps the writing rooms, the show's narrative structure, or the refusal to allow him to move past a stale emotional template were default. For all intents and purposes, Geo had been plunged into the depths of identity trauma. It was difficult to comprehend the reality about your parents, your background, and your position in a family you believed you understood. Particularly when it was exposed in the worst conceivable way, via a torrent of secrets rather than through thoughtful discussions. The two people he cared about the most, Brooklyn and Chase, had kept the punchline from him, and his birth story had been a terrible joke at his cost. His lines were now defensive, spiteful, and molded by the weight of betrayal, and every scene he entered appeared to be steeped with tension. However, the authors were portraying him in broad strokes of bitterness rather than nuance. And by doing so, they were leading the character toward something more difficult to see and away from the empathy he much needed. Discussions on the internet were exploding with disappointment rather than hate. It was about what Geo was being reduced to, not about Geo himself. One supporter wrote, "He deserves more than to be called anti-adoption." Others concurred, pointing out that the problem wasn't his support for Sunny or even his conflict with Lulu, but rather the one-note depiction of his emotional fallout. What he needs is a path to healing, and fast. Though he wasn't receiving the same care as other Port Charles inhabitants, Geo had the potential to be one of the most interesting individuals in the upcoming generation. He was brooding, not growing. And that was only effective for a while. "This kid is dealing with emotional warfare inside his own head," one admirer wrote in a forum thread that went viral, perfectly capturing the essence of the situation. Give him space to be misinterpreted, then rise beyond it. Don't make him just furious and misunderstood. And there it was, the request for guidance. The wish that Joe's tale will conclude with innovation rather than resentment. It was more important to focus on what wasn't on screen than what was. Joe's agony was present in layers, but they were unaltered. Not only was he adopted, but no one told him, which made him feel betrayed. When the truth eventually came to light, everyone he cared about had taken on the burden of that secret and abandoned him to drown in it. Even Brooklyn, who had once confidently claimed to be his mother in all relevant respects, now gazed at him with guilt-clouded eyes. Once the solid bedrock beneath Joe's feet, Chase had turned into just another adult liar. Lulu, too? With Lulu, Geo was not sure where to begin. He didn't despise her. It wasn't that. Her sudden and unexplained return to his life felt like a new kind of betrayal since he was just lost. Her failure to attend was not her fault. However, Geo was still unable to comprehend that. Not while he was still trying to piece together the fragments of his former self. The public wanted to watch him get back on his feet. To come out on the other side and work out the anger. However, the production had not provided him with the necessary scaffolding. His scenes seemed trimmed as well. Deeper feelings came to the surface in fleeting flashes, such as when he stood in front of the Corinthos house and appeared to want to cry, shout, and flee all at once. Or when he went to the Quartermain mansion and remained silent in front of Brooklyn, his quiet being more powerful than words. Those moments, albeit fleeting, suggested a soul splitting beneath the surface. Rather, he was frequently described as explosive. confrontational, cut off from the complexity his narrative merited. Fans took note. There was growing agreement that Joe's story needed to change. And shortly. Another fan conjectured, "I think he's about to be a target," in a post that received a dozen responses. Not physically, not emotionally. "I suspect Sidwell has his sights set on him." The idea that Gio would end up as collateral damage in the greater conflict between Sonny and Sidwell wasn't out of the question. And if that occurs, perhaps he will finally receive the story arc he deserves. Innocent ground had already been burned by Sidwell's war. Christina was inside Charlie's pub when it was set on fire. Just by being close, Marco Rios, who was acting on a very narrow moral axis, would unintentionally put Gio in risk. Gio might lose everything if something happened to him, such as if he was hurt, abducted, or coerced by someone like Sidwell. It might make those who have wronged him face the consequences of their silence. Additionally, it might finally give Gio the plot he deserves. Before it got to that point, some viewers held on to optimism that things might improve. "He's an amazing actor," someone said. "It is visible to you. He has a certain understated intensity. All he needs is a moment, a genuine moment, to demonstrate his abilities. Allow him to weep. Let him get angry." Another said, "He's under contract. Let him heal." Even the arguments on whether Gio was treating Lulu and Brooklyn unfairly sprang from a place of strong attachment. Don't waste him. Fans only needed the show to provide them with the content to understand him. Some defended his actions by claiming that his emotions were legitimate. You grow up believing that you are one thing, and then the truth hits you like a ton of bricks. You will lash out, of course. You will doubt everything, of course. Others were concerned that Gio may turn into a cautionary story about wasted potential if the writing didn't change course quickly, but that doesn't make him anti-adoption, it makes him human. They had already done it with other teenagers. Gio needed a turning moment, whether it was a breakdown, a breakthrough, or a near-death experience. Don't let Gio be another lost thread. Something to re-establish his anchor. Give him a cause to grow, to trust, to soften. Maybe it would be Lulu, extending her hand in a manner that truly touched down. Maybe it would be Brooklyn, at last telling Gio the whole truth, no more sugarcoating the hurt, no more withheld facts. In a moment of mutual understanding, it might even be Rocco, who had his own mountain of identity sorrow to climb, reaching out to his half-brother. Or perhaps someone might be saved by Gio. Perhaps, in order to feel valuable again, he would risk something for someone he owed little to when it counted most. Merely to feel important. Redeeming arcs were the foundation of Port Charles. On characters that made bad decisions yet managed to turn around. Gio might be among them. But only if he was allowed by the show. There was a fire. It hurt. The crowd was prepared. He only required a spark. Astonishing returns. General Hospital spoilers and preview, Sonny's risky game and Brit's bombshell hint. Don't miss anything as Port Charles enters one of its most dramatic weeks yet, from Sonny's risky hostage play to Michael's brutal custody decision and Jason's shocking airport surprise. Chaos breaks out at Natalia's memorial. The General Hospital preview and spoilers for the week of July 15, 2025, indicate that chaos breaks out at Natalia Ramirez's memorial. Sonny Corinthos enters the chapel in the opening scene of the promotional video, his eyes glaring darkly. He turns sorrow into rage by confronting Jen's Sidwell during what ought to have been a quiet homage. Jen's and Sonny's tension rapidly increases. Sonny threatens Jen's icily, saying that his son is vulnerable. That warning is action, not just words. Later, in what appears to be a dusty, deserted warehouse, Marco Rios, the object of Sonny's wrath, is seen tied and bound. The spooky narration in the trailer, "You don't want to do this," further heightens the tension of his fierce quest for freedom. It's obvious that Sonny has taken matters into his own hands. His audacious and risky strategies might have detrimental effects, and Port Charles might soon experience them. General Hospital spoilers and preview, Michael crosses a line in his custody fight the week of July 15, 2025. General Hospital spoilers and previews also show a tumultuous conflict between Willow Tate and Michael Corinthos. Michael is seen declaring boldly and controversially that he cannot allow someone to be granted custody. Even if he doesn't mention names, the following scene makes his attention more apparent. Willow is seen clinging to Drew Kane on an emotional level. Michael appears to be infuriated by this link and is prompted to act in a way that seems more about control than protection. Then, in a state of terror and heartbreak, Willow approaches him at the hospital. "What have you done?" she says. Michael looks back calmly and unimpressed. The stakes are enormous on an emotional level. Their relationship can be permanently ruined by this betrayal. Michael runs the risk of losing custody and the confidence of the woman he purports to protect as Willow depends on Drew for assistance. Meanwhile, Portia Robinson's situation is not getting any better. Her meltdown portends more serious trouble down the road. She is seen screaming in her office and shattering a clipboard in the preview, demonstrating her utter insanity. Her response seemed too intimate to be solely professional, and Drew Kane might be at the epicenter of the commotion once more. Drew may be entering a darker realm if this outburst was brought on by his legal or political scheming. Not only is Portia's breakdown emotional, but it also serves as a warning that something significant is about to happen. Her response can be a sign that someone is acting unethically or that further secrets are going to be revealed. This week, GH lovers should pay special attention to Portia. Her rage may lead to decisions that affect her personal life as well as the hospital. General Hospital preview and spoilers. Jason identifies a known face. Is Britt returning? General Hospital's biggest twist yet is revealed just when the preview appears to be coming to an end. At an airport, Jason Morgan is sitting quietly when he is startled out of his chair by something, or rather, someone. Jason is taken aback when a woman who resembles Dr. Britt Westbourne passes by. His expression is one of recognition rather than horror. GH keeps us guessing even if Kelly Thibault is officially back on television. Is Britt really still alive? Is there a double twist here? Perhaps a doppelganger was employed to cause havoc in Jason's life? The biggest talk of the week is expected to be this mystery. Fans are in for a crazy trip as Britt's future is in jeopardy and Jason is deeply shaken. Sonny's hostage gamble, Michael's daring custody maneuver, and Britt's shocking reappearance make for an unforgettable drama in the General Hospital spoilers and preview for the week of July 15, 2025. Dalton is confronted by Sidwell after Marco is abducted. Alexis Davis stands beside Sonny Corinthos, as Lucy co-consoles Jen Sidwell. Additionally, Michael Corinthos provides Sonny and Carly Spencer with updates, while Isaiah Gannon acts as a mediator between Willow Tate and Lucas Jones. In the chapel, Lucy is absorbed in the Aurora story, which suggests that Sonny was the cause of Natalia Ramirez's demise. When Sidwell enters, Lucy embraces him. He thanks her for her support and appears surprised to see her. Lucy adds how much she enjoyed working with Natalia, and she regrets that he must deal with the media circus today because he is worried about his son. She was a real force of nature, he says. His primary worry is that without answers, his son might not be able to find peace. Alexis stands by Sonny. Marco Rios decides to ignore Lucas's texts in his Metro Court suite until Alexis shows up to offer her sympathy. She maintains that Sonny was not at fault for his mother's passing, claiming that the reports in Aurora were only gossip without any solid proof. He challenges her logic for thinking Sonny had nothing to do with it. She emphasizes that family is what really counts to him and reassures him that Sonny would never hurt him, his mother, or his sister Blaze. He checks his phone again after she leaves, but he chooses not to respond to Lucas' many recent messages. Michael informs Carly and Sonny at Carly's. Michael informs his parents that he is going to lose his daughter, Sasha Corbin, and Daisy Gilmore are leaving town, and that someone is pursuing the child. Carly thinks this is all crazy and feels that Michael should stop Sasha from leaving, but he doesn't. Sonny believes that this is about him and that someone is attempting to attract his attention. He wants to give Sasha the peaceful life she deserves after everything she has been through, and his parents promise to help him in any way they can. Jason is bringing Daisy and Sasha out of town, Michael says. He can never give custody to Willow and Drew because he will be left with nothing if he loses Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. Mediating, Isaiah Gannon is happy to see Willow at the hospital and gives Lucas a fierce look. When he gently approaches her, Gannon tells them to put their differences aside. Willow agrees that they should avoid having personal disputes in the hospital, but Lucas claims they are on different sides of a family matter and they start arguing about Drew Kane. After Lucas leaves, Willow admits that she made mistakes but was just acting on her emotions. Lucas agrees and gives in. He is surprised when she admits that Michael doesn't look good on paper, and she says that he has made her this way. She remembers in silence what she did with Daisy to discipline Michael and Sasha. Concerned that Anna Devane is watching them, Vaughn and Jocelyn Jacks visit his office after Jack Brennan leaves a note for Carly, and Jack orders them to make their romance credible. Jack is not shocked. He thinks Anna's concerns would only grow as a result of Vaughn's impeccable record. Their boss tells them that in order to be successful, they have to convince everyone that they are a real couple and completely live up to their cover narrative. The good news is that they discovered Professor Henry Dalton had a physical messenger after cloning his phone. They will be in a strong position if they can figure out who this messenger is. At home, Anna decides to do a background check on Vaughn while Outback chews on one of her shoes. This happens right before Felicia Scorpio arrives, and Outback the puppy bursts in, chewing on one of her shoes. Emma Scorpio Drake and Gio Palmieri jog in when Anna begs for them to enter immediately. Anna also vents her irritation about her damaged shoe. When Emma offers to purchase her new shoes, Gio snatches Anna's final Pop-Tart and runs off with Emma and the puppy because she loves these old shoes and they are priceless. While having coffee with Felicia, Anna considers how her life has gone and begins to fear that Emma may be in danger. She talks about Vaughn and believes he is too good to be true. Felicia thinks Anna is exaggerating her worries, and she has already ordered a background check on him. Danny talks to Sasha and catches up with Rocco. Dalton shows up at the pool. Danny Morgan meets Rocco Falconeri at the towel shop after checking on Sasha while she unwinds with her infant by the pool. He finds out that Britt Westbourne took the embryo that became him, but Jason Morgan confused the situation by saying Britt was a decent person. He continues to look for clarification. For example, when Dalton arrives to the pool, he requests a towel and reminds them that they should be working rather than conversing. As Danny talks to Sasha about the baby and whether she can know her voice from when she was in the womb, Emma arrives with her puppy and smiles. Rocco walks over to talk to Gio about how nice it is to have a neutral connection at work. Dalton grieves when Outback lands on his pool chair. When Dalton comes out of his swim, he finds Emma's puppy, Outback, lying on his pool chair. He starts to express his annoyance right away, telling Gio that Danny and Rocco must be fired. He accepts Emma's offer as she rushes over to him, apologizes, and promises to make things right so his days are more enjoyable. Following his departure, Rocco, Danny, and Gio consider working with Dalton to be a bad move. She makes it clear that she needs access to his papers and that he is a bad person who uses animals for scientific study. Jason arrives at Lulu Spencer's house, and although she apologizes for being harsh with him the night before, she demands that he never bring up Britt with her son ever again. This circumstance is bringing back terrible memories. Britt robbed them of a year of Rocco's life. She and Dante Falconeri had planned to tell Rocco but never had the chance. According to Jason, Britt had changed, therefore what he told Rocco about her doesn't excuse her behavior. But Lulu doesn't want to hear anything good about that woman because she thinks her son is putting distance between them and that the damage has already been done. She acknowledges that her anger toward her son was a little out of proportion, but he reassures her that she only needs to trust in his love for her. Questions from Alexis, Dalton's meeting with Sidwell, Marco's captive, and Sunny's announcement following Jason's departure. Alexis shows over and asks about the Aurora story, pointing out that it sounds odd for Curtis Ashford to protect Christina Corinthos Davis. She wants to know who wrote it, and Lulu is happy to help. In the meantime, a worried Lucas goes to the Metro Court and asks Carly to let him into Marco's room. When they get there, they discover that it is empty and that Jason is holding Marco captive. Simultaneously, Sidwell and Dalton meet in the church, where Sidwell reports that their mutual acquaintance is growing agitated and wants explanations for the hold-up. There will be repercussions if he doesn't get them. Sidwell looks at Natalia's coffin and bids her peace when Dalton departs, and then Sunny shows there and announces that Marco won't be attending. Sidwell gives Sunny the advantage. After that, Sunny defeats Sidwell on GH. Sasha looks for Nina while Lucas is in a panic. When Sunny defeats Sidwell, the conflict between them intensifies. Sidwell's plan has stayed fairly covert ever since the crime lord arrived in town. he gradually made it apparent that his goal was to overthrow Sunny and take over as Port Charles's most powerful individual. And whether he intended it or not, Sunny's daughter Christina nearly died when he caused the fire to destroy Charlie's pub. Sunny will therefore not allow this behavior to go unchallenged. The challenge then becomes, how does he outmaneuver Sidwell? Does this have anything to do with Marco's kidnapping? Marco is gagged and restrained at the weekly GH video preview. Is Sunny responsible for that? Lucas, meanwhile, is in a panic. He has been incredibly supportive of Marco, and his affections for him are just getting stronger. It is certain that Lucas will be concerned by Marco's abrupt disappearance. He is familiar with Port Charles. He is also aware of what might occur if Sunny is betrayed. To find an MIA Marco, how far will he go? Dysfunctional drama in Port Charles, Drew is likely feeling proud of himself for defeating Curtis. As a result, Sunny's chances of retaining the waterfront property he has owned for many years should be severely damaged by a popular article about him that details his involvement in Natalia's death that appears on Aurora media platforms. Drew then gives a warning. Who is the target of this warning? Even though it might be anyone, Nina is a likely candidate. Drew is still aware that she was the one who employed the escort, Jacinda. However, it appears from GH's Next On preview that he gives Carly a harsh warning regarding Michael. Drew declares firmly that his refusal to compromise is going to cause him more misery than you can ever imagine. Additionally, Willow receives awful news while Nina looks for Sasha. Does it have anything to do with her efforts to obtain visitation rights so she may regularly see Amelia and Wiley? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.